Okay, so real quick before we get into anything, I need to tell you that I cried in a parking lot of a Target the first week I moved here. Like full on, sunglasses on, sitting in my car, crying. And I want you to guess why.
Oh no, was it the furniture situation?
It was the furniture situation.
I knew it. I knew it. Okay, we are absolutely coming back to that story.
We are 100% coming back to that story, but hi, welcome back to Simple Conversations. I'm Amy.
And I'm John.
And today we are talking about something that I think so many people can relate to, which is moving to a new city, starting over somewhere brand new. And honestly, we've both done it, so this one feels pretty personal.
Yeah, this one's close to home, or I guess close to a new home.
Oh, wow, starting strong with the dad jokes.
I try. But yeah, how long has it been for you now, like since you actually moved?
It's been almost a year and a half, which is crazy to say out loud because honestly, the first 3 months felt like 5 years. And then suddenly it was like, wait, a year went by? When?
That's such a specific feeling. Like, time does this really weird thing when you move somewhere new.
It does. It really does. Okay, so how are you doing, first of all? Because I feel like we haven't actually talked properly in a few weeks.
I'm good. A little tired. We've been doing a lot of stuff at work. There's this big project that's kind of taking over my life right now, but other than that, yeah, things are good. This is relevant, I've been thinking about potentially moving again, so I'm kind of in research mode right now.
Wait, seriously? Where?
I don't know yet, that's the thing. I'm kind of on the fence between a few different cities, and I figured talking to you about your experience would actually be really useful.
Oh, this is perfect then. You're basically doing your research in real time.
Live research, exactly.
Okay, I love it. All right, so let's actually get into it because I think the first thing I want to talk about is the decision itself, like the actual moment you decide, okay, I'm doing this. Because I feel like people either make that decision really quickly and impulsively, or they agonize over it for like 2 years.
Which one were you?
I was both, kind of. Like, I had been thinking about it for a long time, like 2 years of going back and forth. Should I move? Should I not move? Is this the right time? What if I hate it? What if I don't know anyone? All of that. And then one day, I just woke up and I was like, yeah, I'm doing it. And I put in my notice at work within like a week of that.
That's wild. Like after 2 years of hesitating, it just clicked?
It just clicked, and I think what happened was I realized I was more scared of staying than I was of going. Like the regret of not going felt bigger than the fear of going. Does that make sense?
That makes a lot of sense, actually. I think I've heard people describe it that way. Like the risk of staying becomes scarier than the risk of leaving.
Exactly. And also, I think I just kind of hit a ceiling where I was. Like, not in a dramatic way, but just I knew everyone, I knew every street, every restaurant. There was no more surprise left, you know?
You'd run out of discovery.
Yes, I'd run out of discovery. I love that. Can I use that?
It's yours.
Thank you. So yeah, what about you? Because you've moved before, right? You moved to, was it Portland?
Yeah, I moved to Portland about 4 years ago from Ohio, and mine was very much the impulsive version. Like I had a job opportunity and I had maybe 2 weeks to decide, and I said yes before I really thought it through.
And did you regret it?
Honestly, the first month I was convinced I had made the worst decision of my life.
Yes.
Like deeply, deeply convinced. I remember calling my mom and being like, Mom, I think I ruined my life.
Oh my God, I did the same thing. I called my sister. I was like, I have made a terrible mistake.
And what did she say?
She said, you've been there for 11 days, Amy. Give it a minute.
That's the right answer. That's the correct response.
It really was. I needed to hear it. But in the moment, you're like, no, you don't understand. It's bad here.
Right, like it feels very urgent and permanent. But I think that's such a normal part of it. Like there's almost always this dip, this moment where you go, what have I done?
100%. And I think nobody really warns you about that. Or they do, but you don't believe them until you're in it.
Because you think you're going to be different. Like you think, oh, I'm adaptable, I'll be fine.
And then you're crying in a Target parking lot.
Which, okay, we have to go back to this. What happened?
Okay, so the context is I moved into my apartment with basically nothing because I was trying to do the whole fresh start, minimalist, I'm gonna furnish it slowly and thoughtfully thing.
That sounds like a great plan in theory.
On paper, it sounds amazing. In reality, what it means is you have no furniture, you are sleeping on an air mattress, and it is your 5th day in a new city where you don't know a single person.
Oh no.
And I decided I'm going to go to Target, I'm going to get a few things, make this place feel a little more like home. And I had a list, a very normal list. A rug, some kitchen stuff, a lamp.
Reasonable.
Completely reasonable. So I go to Target, I put all the things in my cart, I get to the checkout, and my card gets declined. And I'm like, okay, weird, let me try again. Declined again, and it turns out, and this is the fun part, the bank had flagged all of my recent transactions as suspicious because I had suddenly started spending money in a totally different city. Which, fair enough, bank, that's your job. But they had frozen my card and I didn't have cash, and I couldn't figure out how to unfreeze it quickly enough through the app, and the line behind me was getting long, and I smiled at the cashier, I said I'm so sorry, I left my cart, walked to my car, and then sat there for 20 minutes just absolutely falling apart.
Oh, Amy.
It sounds so small, and it was so small, but it was the last straw. It was like everything that had been building up just came out over a lamp and a rug.
No, I totally get it. It's not about the lamp. The lamp is just the thing that breaks the dam.
The lamp breaks the dam. That's exactly it.
And then what? Like, what happened after?
I called the bank, I sorted it out, I went back in, I bought the rug, I bought the lamp, and then I drove home and I put everything together and I sat on my new rug and I felt weirdly okay, like weirdly proud of myself for just dealing with it.
That's the thing, though, right? You deal with it. Like, every little thing you figure out on your own when you're in a new place adds up. Like, you build this confidence, I guess.
Yeah, you do. And it doesn't happen fast, but it does happen. I think by month 2 or 3, I was starting to actually get the hang of the city. Like, I knew which grocery store I liked, I knew where to park, I had a coffee place that knew my order.
Oh, the coffee place is huge. That's a milestone.
That is genuinely a milestone. When you walk in and they just start making your drink, you've made it.
You belong there now.
You belong. Exactly. So I want to ask you about the logistics side of things, because I know when you moved to Portland, was it overwhelming in terms of just the practical stuff, like finding everything, figuring out where things are?
So overwhelming. Like, it took me, I want to say 3 months before I stopped navigating everywhere with GPS, and even then I'd still get it wrong sometimes.
The GPS thing is real, and it's embarrassing because you feel like you should be able to figure out a grid of streets, but somehow you end up going the wrong way every single time.
And every city has its own logic, too. Like, Portland's got this very specific layout, and I just could not crack it for the longest time. And then one day, it just made sense, like something in my brain reorganized.
And that's such a good feeling when it clicks.
It really is. Like, suddenly you're giving other people directions, and you're like, who am I?
You've become a local. Okay, so I want to shift gears a little bit because I think this is actually the thing most people are most nervous about when they think about moving to a new city. And it's the social side, like making friends, meeting people, because it is, and I will just say this plainly, it is hard.
It's so hard.
As an adult, like when you're a kid, you show up at school and you make friends. It's sort of automatic. But as an adult in a new city, you really have to put yourself out there in a way that feels kind of uncomfortable.
It's almost embarrassing how hard it is. Like, you feel like you should know how to do this. You've been a person for however many years.
And you've had friends before.
You've had friends. You know how this works. But somehow it's like starting from scratch, and you don't quite know the rules anymore.
Okay, so what did you do in Portland? Like, how did you actually meet people?
So I tried a few things, and I'll be honest, some of them worked, and some of them were disasters. The first thing I tried was I joined a recreational sports league, like an adult soccer thing.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And it was okay. It wasn't bad. Like, I met people, but it was very surface level, like you play, you maybe get a drink after, but then you go home and you're kind of back to square one.
Right, like you're acquaintances, but not really friends yet.
Exactly. And then, and this is the one that actually worked, I joined a climbing gym. And I don't know what it is about climbing gyms specifically, but people there are so friendly and weirdly willing to just talk to strangers. Like, I hit it off with this group of guys within like 2 weeks, and I'm still friends with a couple of them now.
See, I've heard this about climbing gyms. What is it?
I think it's because you need each other. Like you're often partnered up with someone, you're literally holding the rope for someone's life.
That's a fast track to bonding.
Right? You bond fast when someone's trusting you with their physical safety.
That's a very practical friendship strategy. I like it. For me, the thing that worked was work, honestly, which I know sounds boring, but I work in a relatively small company, and the people there were they really went out of their way to include me. Like, they invited me to things, they checked in on me, and a couple of those relationships turned into real friendships.
That's actually underrated, I think. People sometimes write off work friendships as not real friendships, but
No, they can be totally real. Like, especially when you're new somewhere and you don't have much of a social circle yet, those connections matter a lot.
and I think the bar just has to be lower, honestly. Like, when you move to a new place, you can't wait for the perfect friend who shares all your interests and gets all your references. You have to be willing to branch out.
Yes, like I've become friends with people I probably wouldn't have sought out in my old city because we have less in common on the surface. But then you spend enough time together and you realize, actually, we get along really well.
Moving kind of forces you to be more open in that way.
It really does, and I think that's one of the unexpected good things. Like, you end up meeting people who expand you a little bit.
Okay, wait, I want to push back on something slightly, because I think, and I don't want to be too negative here, but I think there's a version of the making friends in a new city narrative that's a little bit too optimistic. Like, there's this idea that you just join some clubs, put yourself out there, and the friendships just appear. But it takes so much longer than that.
No, you're right. Like, even when you meet people, it takes time for those relationships to deepen into actual close friendships. It's not instant.
Right, and I think I spent the first year in Portland with people I liked, but without anyone I could call at midnight if something went wrong, you know?
The 2 a.m. friend. Yeah.
And that takes time, like real time. And I think people don't account for that when they move.
I think that's one of the loneliest parts. Like, you can be busy, you can have dinner plans and social things, and it can look fine from the outside, but you can still feel lonely because the depth isn't there yet.
100%.
And I think that's okay to acknowledge. Like, I felt that. I felt that for a long time. And I think it's actually useful to know going in. You're probably going to feel lonely for a while, and that doesn't mean you made a mistake.
It just means you haven't been there long enough yet.
Right. It's not a verdict, it's just a timeline.
I like that. Okay, can I ask you something that's kind of the flip side of this? Because we've been talking about the challenges, but what was the moment for you when it started to actually feel like home? Like a specific moment, if you can think of one.
Oh, that's such a good question. Let me think. Yeah, okay. So there was this day, I want to say it was maybe 5 or 6 months in, and I was just walking home from the farmer's market on a Sunday morning. I had coffee, I had groceries, I ran into a woman from my yoga class. We chatted for like 10 minutes, said goodbye, and then I walked the rest of the way home just feeling really good, like calm and happy and present. And it hit me like, oh, I have a life here.
Aw.
I know, it sounds so small, but it was just this ordinary Sunday and it felt normal in the best possible way. Like I had a routine and people I knew and a place I was walking back to. And it felt like mine.
That's the thing, isn't it? It's always the ordinary moments, not like some big dramatic breakthrough.
It's never a montage, it's just a Tuesday where something feels okay.
It's not a movie, it's just a Tuesday.
Exactly, which I think is actually more comforting. Like, if you're waiting for a big moment where it clicks, you might miss all the small moments where it's already clicking.
That's a good point. Okay, I want to shift into something slightly different because I feel like we should talk about the city itself, like where you actually end up living, the neighborhood, all of that, because I think that choice shapes everything.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I made a mistake there. Can I just admit that?
Please.
So when I was choosing my neighborhood, I was choosing based almost entirely on price and proximity to work, which are not bad criteria, but they're not the only criteria.
What went wrong?
The neighborhood I picked, perfectly nice, safe, fine, but it was really quiet, like almost too quiet. And I'm someone who likes to be able to walk to things. I like activity around me. And I'd basically picked a very residential area where the action was a drive away. And for the first few months, that really got to me.
Because you're already feeling isolated from not knowing people, and then your physical environment is also kind of isolating.
Exactly. And I ended up moving to a different neighborhood after about 8 months, which moving twice in 8 months is its own adventure.
Ha! How was the second move compared to the first?
So much easier. Not logistically, it was still exhausting, but emotionally, because I knew the city by then. I had opinions, I knew what I wanted, and moving to the new neighborhood made such a huge difference. Like, I could walk to a coffee shop, I could walk to a park, there were people around. I felt so much better.
So the advice there would be, if you can, rent first. Don't buy right away. Give yourself time to figure out where you actually want to be.
Yes, 100%. Rent first, try different areas if you can, and don't be too proud to admit if you picked wrong the first time.
That's actually huge. I think there's this pressure to just land somewhere and immediately be right about it.
And the stakes feel so high when you're new, but honestly, you're allowed to adjust.
Speaking of adjusting, can we talk about culture shock for a second? Because I think people associate culture shock with moving to a different country, but it happens within the same country too. Like moving from one region to another can be surprisingly disorienting.
Oh, completely. Like, the pace is different. The vibe in social interactions is different.
The way people drive is different.
Oh my God, the driving. Can we talk about the driving for 1 second?
Please.
Okay, where I'm from, people are, let's say, assertive drivers. Like, you make your move, you go. There's a certain aggression that is understood and respected.
It's efficient in its own way.
It's efficient, thank you. And where I moved to, people are much more polite drivers. Like, someone will wave you in and smile, and at first I thought that was lovely, and then I realized that me not knowing the local driving culture was causing problems. Like, I was being too aggressive and people were getting annoyed, but I didn't know the rules yet.
Ha! You are bringing your old city's driving energy to a new city.
I was culture clashing on the highway, and once I figured it out, once I got the hang of the local driving rhythm, everything was fine. But for like 2 months, I was just confused about why every commute felt weird.
It's the invisible stuff that gets you, like the stuff you didn't know to prepare for because you didn't know it existed.
Exactly, and that goes for so many things, like humor, for instance. The way people make jokes, whether they're being sarcastic or literal, that took me a while to recalibrate.
Oh, interesting. Can you give me an example?
So, where I'm from, sarcasm is basically a love language. Like, if someone teases you, it means they like you. And when I first got here, I was doing my usual thing, light teasing, a bit of dry humor, and I could tell sometimes that people weren't sure how to read it.
Like they weren't sure if you were being rude or funny.
Right, and I wasn't being rude, I was being friendly, but I had to learn to dial it back a little until people knew me better.
I had the opposite experience. I'm pretty dry and understated, and in Portland, people were very expressive and enthusiastic, and I think I came across as unenthusiastic at first, like they thought I didn't care about things because I wasn't matching their energy.
Oh, that must have been weird because you do care, you're just quieter about it.
Exactly, and once people understood that, it was fine. But there was definitely a period where I was getting feedback, not directly, but you can feel it, like, loosen up, show us you're into this.
And it's strange because you haven't changed, it's just that your normal looks different in a new context.
Yes, that's exactly it. You're the same person, but the context has changed, so the interpretation changes.
Okay, I want to go on a tiny tangent here because you just reminded me of something.
Go for it.
So this is kind of embarrassing, but also very funny in retrospect. I was at a dinner party. This was maybe 3 months in, so I was still pretty new. And someone asked me where I was from originally, and I told them, and they said, "Oh, you know what? I kind of thought so." And I said, "Really? Why?" Expecting them to say something about my accent or something. And they said, "You seem like you're always slightly ready for an argument." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And everyone laughed, including me, but I was also kind of like, is that how I come across? And later I thought about it and I was like, you know what? Yeah, where I'm from, there's a certain readiness in conversation. Like, conversations have stakes. You defend your opinions, you push back. It's not aggressive, it's just spirited.
And in your new city, conversations are more like collaborative?
More harmonious, yeah, less debatey. And it's not better or worse, it's just different. But it made me realize how much of our personality is actually just where we grew up. Like, what's normal for us is very locationally specific.
That's actually a huge insight. I think when people talk about finding yourself through travel or moving, that's actually part of it. You realize that a lot of things you thought were just you are actually habits you picked up from your environment.
And then you get to decide, okay, which of these do I want to keep and which ones might I want to soften or change?
It's like a personality audit.
A personality audit, yes. Although the woman at the dinner party and I are now actually really good friends, for the record.
I love that.
She was teasing me in the best way. She got me immediately.
That's a great origin story for a friendship, though. You seem like you're always ready for an argument. I am. Let's be friends.
Honestly, yes, that's basically what happened.
Okay, back on track. I want to ask you about the practical stuff that nobody really talks about. Like not the big emotional journey, but the annoying, unglamorous things. The stuff you wish someone had warned you about.
Oh boy, okay, where do I start? All right, number one, finding a doctor or any kind of healthcare provider, because nobody warns you about how complicated that is when you move somewhere new. Like, I was on my old doctor's records for way longer than I should have been because I just couldn't figure out how to navigate finding a new one, what was covered, all of that.
That's such a real thing. And it's one of those things where you put it off because it's annoying, and then suddenly you actually need a doctor and you haven't done it.
Exactly, I was fine until I wasn't, and then I was scrambling.
What else?
The bank thing we mentioned, but also just like knowing which services and local businesses are actually good. Like back home, I had opinions. I knew which dry cleaner was reliable, which mechanic wasn't going to rip me off. Starting from scratch on all of that, it's tedious.
And the default is just to Google everything and hope for the best. But the reviews aren't always accurate.
So inaccurate sometimes. And you end up making a few bad choices before you figure out the good ones.
What about the emotional timeline? Like, I'm asking this genuinely because I'm considering a move and I want to be realistic. If you had to map out year one, what does it look like?
Okay, honestly, month one is exciting and terrifying in equal measure. There's this adrenaline that comes from everything being new. And then month 2 and 3 are, for most people I've talked to, the hardest because the adrenaline has worn off, you haven't built a real life yet, and it's just quiet in a heavy way.
Yeah.
And then around month 4 or 5, things start to shift. You start getting the hang of small things. You have a few people you know. You found the spots you like. Month 6 to 9 is when it starts to feel more manageable. And then month 10, 11, 12, that's when it actually starts to feel like yours.
That's a really useful map.
And obviously, everyone's different, but that was roughly mine. And a few other people I know who've done it have said something similar.
So the first 3 months are the ones to just survive.
Basically, like give yourself permission to not have it figured out yet. You're not supposed to.
That's actually reassuring. I think I had this picture in my head where by month 3, I'd already have my whole social life sorted and I'd be totally comfortable.
Nope, month 3 is when you're crying in a parking lot.
Over a lamp.
Over a lamp.
Okay, I feel significantly better about this now. In a weird way, knowing it's going to be hard makes it less scary. Like, if I know what to expect.
You can prepare for it. You can be kind to yourself when it happens instead of thinking something's wrong with you.
Exactly. Because I think when you hit that low point and you didn't know it was coming, you spiral. Like you think, this means it was the wrong decision. But if you know it's just part of the process...
It's like going to the gym. It's going to hurt. That's not a sign you shouldn't be there.
Good analogy. I like that.
Okay, I want to touch on one more thing because I think it's important, and that's going back, like visiting your old city after you've moved, because I think that's its own emotional experience that I didn't expect.
Oh, interesting. Tell me about it.
So the first time I went back to visit, I was so excited. Like I was going to see my family, my old friends, all the places I missed. And I got there and it was wonderful, but I also had this strange feeling the whole time, like slightly displaced.
Like it wasn't quite yours anymore?
Like I was a guest, like I knew it intimately, but I didn't live in it anymore. And there were things that had changed, new places that opened, people's lives had moved on in ways I wasn't part of. And it was a bit sad.
But also maybe freeing?
Yeah, actually, because it reminded me that I had actually left. Like I had made a real choice and it had real consequences. And those consequences were okay, more than okay.
Like confirmation that you actually live somewhere else now.
Yes, like it made the move feel more real, more intentional. Does that make sense?
It does, like the visit sort of sealed it.
And I came back to my new city, and it felt more like home than it had before. Like going back showed me how much I'd built up here.
That's really interesting. I wouldn't have guessed that the visit home would end up reinforcing the new place.
Neither would I. It was unexpected.
What does your family think, by the way? Are they supportive of the move?
My family was cautiously supportive. My mom was worried, obviously, because that's her job. My sister, like I said, was the voice of reason. My dad was actually really encouraging about it. He'd moved around a lot when he was younger, and he said, "You'll regret it if you don't." And he was right.
That's a nice thing to have in your corner.
Yeah, and now they all want to come visit, which is its own thing, because then you get to be the tour guide in a city you're still figuring out.
That's funny. You're like, I'll show you my favorite 3 places. That's the whole tour.
Exactly. Welcome to my city. I know where to park, and I have a coffee shop that knows my name. Let me take you there.
The full experience.
The full experience. Okay, can I ask you something? Because you said you're kind of on the fence between a few cities. What's holding you back? Like, what's the main hesitation?
Honestly, I think I've worked really hard over the last 4 years to build a life in Portland, and I'm proud of that. And leaving means doing that work all over again. And I know I can do it. I've done it once, but it's still daunting.
That makes complete sense. But here's the thing. You won't be starting from exactly the same place you were 4 years ago. You know more now. You know what works for you and what doesn't. You know to find a climbing gym.
True.
Like, you have a playbook now. It's not going to be the same level of lost that the first time was.
That's a good point. And I think I have a better sense of what I need in a city, too, like what the non-negotiables are.
What are they?
Outdoorsy access is big for me. I need to be able to get to hiking or mountains or something pretty quickly. A reasonable cost of living. Portland's gotten pretty expensive. And I want a place that has a creative scene, like music and art, stuff going on, but not overwhelming. Like, I'm not a huge city person.
That's a pretty clear picture, actually. Do any of the cities you're considering hit all 3?
A couple of them do, which is why I'm stuck.
Well, and this is maybe bad advice, but sometimes you just have to pick. Like, you can research forever and you're never going to know for certain until you're in it.
Yeah, I think I know that. I'm just not quite ready to make the leap yet.
And that's okay, but when you feel that thing, that moment where you're more afraid of staying than you are of going, you'll know.
I'll know.
And then you'll go cry in a parking lot.
And then I'll go cry in a parking lot, yes.
It's basically a rite of passage at this point.
Okay, I feel like we could keep talking about this for another 3 hours, honestly, but let's start to wind down. I want to do like a quick roundup, like what's your actual honest take? Overall, are you glad you did it?
Without question, without any hesitation, it is the best thing I have ever done for myself. And I say that having had really hard days, having felt really lonely, having cried in parking lots. The version of me that exists now, she's different. Better, I think. Like, I trust myself more. I'm more flexible. I've learned that I can figure things out even when I don't know how yet.
That's a good answer.
What about you? Portland?
Yeah, absolutely yes. And I'd do it again, which I guess is kind of the answer to my own question about whether to move again.
Exactly. You just answered it yourself.
I guess I did.
You're welcome.
Okay, any final piece of advice for someone who's considering a move, sitting on the fence, hasn't quite made the call yet?
I would say go easy on yourself in the first few months. Really, like you wouldn't expect a plant to thrive the first week after you repot it. Give yourself the same grace. It's going to be uncomfortable before it's good. And the uncomfortable part isn't a sign to give up. It's a sign that something is growing.
That's beautiful. I'm going to write that down.
Please do. And find your climbing gym, whatever your version of that is. Find the thing that will connect you to people who have a reason to talk to you. Don't rely on it just happening naturally.
That's practical and good. All right, for anyone listening to this who has moved to a new city or is thinking about it, we'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment. What's one thing you wish you'd known before you made the move? Or if you're still on the fence, tell us what's holding you back. Because honestly, I feel like we only scratched the surface today.
We really did. We didn't even get into things like dating in a new city, which is a whole other episode.
Oh, that's an episode.
That is absolutely an episode. Dating as a newcomer, the complexity, the stories.
I have stories.
I have stories. Okay, that might be our next one, or at least one of our next ones. So if you want us to do that, let us know.
And honestly, until then, if you're mid-move or mid-adjustment, hang in there. You've got this.
It's just a parking lot. The lamp is worth it.
The lamp is always worth it.
Thanks for listening, everyone. See you next time.
See you next time.